All right. So April 2005, a video game was released called Perplex City. And it was an ARG, an alternate reality game. So basically it uses real world elements and your own actions and choices to influence the game. So
Real world elements.
yeah, like the point of this game was to solve all these clues and riddles in the real world that would lead you to a real world treasure.
Oh, dope.
So the end of this game was to find the Ricada cube, and the person who find the Ricada cube would win 100,000 pounds,
IRL.
British pounds, yeah, in real life. So this was a game that was developed and released by a UK gaming development company. The cube was found 2 years later by somebody who was also from the UK, and they received their prize money. And
Dope.
yeah, it was dope. There was one aspect of the game, though. It wasn't part of the main thing, but it was definitely big enough where you could... Like, have you ever played an open world game and there's side quests?
Yep.
Like, you can finish a main quest, but there's a bunch of side quests that you can do to get different rewards or have different experiences that add to the story. So, in simple terms, they had a side quest, and there were these puzzle cards. And there were 256 puzzle cards, almost like Pokemon cards. You could buy them. You open the pack, and there were like 5 or 6 levels of difficulty. And they had...
In the game, you'd buy them?
No, in real life.
Whoa,
you can
they
buy
were
them.
mixing.
And it's crazy. So you would buy them, and some of the cards contain like hidden features like ultraviolet or heat-sensitive inks. They'd cover a broad range of topics, from pop culture trivia to cryptography to logic, brain teasers. Really cool. So when you solved them, you could log onto the website, put in your answer, and they would give you points. But out of the 256 cards, there are 2 cards that have yet to be solved. One of them is card 237, the Riemann hypothesis.
That's the room in The Shining.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Which was an interesting coincidence, but I don't think there's any correlation. But
Sorry, what was it called, though?
the Riemann hypothesis. The Riemann hypothesis is just like a mathematical conjecture, almost like a theory. There's a lot of strong claims and evidence that support this conjecture, but there's no hard like solutions that prove it or disproves it.
So it's just a theory.
Yeah, so the card is prove the Riemann hypothesis. Like people can work on it and find one, but nobody has yet come up with the right equation or whatever to solve it. The second card is the last one, card 256. And the card is called Billion to One. And if you look at this card, there's a picture of a man, and it's just a portrait of his face. And in the background, there are these old buildings. And this is a real person. And on the side, there are Japanese characters running down. And that's all it is. The translation of the characters says, "Find me." And when you go to the website, I think each card has a small hint. The hint for this card is, "My name is Satoshi."
I was going to say, is he a Japanese man?
He's a Japanese man. So, Satoshi is somebody who has not been found by anybody. And this game came out in 2005. So, checking the website, some people still like update it frequently, because when I just checked it, it said as of February 2020, nobody has found Satoshi yet.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Are those cards important to winning something at this point? If someone's already won the 100K?
No, it's really just a side quest, like a fun thing to do.
Okay.
But there's a website called findsatoshi.com, and theories and facts and kind of like a forum where people can contribute there's like hardcore fans of this game.
Has 4chan attempted?
Dude, there's like a
The hacker
subreddit for
4chan?
it. Hacker Man
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah, has
Florida Man. I'm sure they have.
Well, if they can't do it, I can't.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just kind of a crazy real life mystery unsolved of who this man is. He has no social media, nothing. There are a couple, and when I say a couple, I mean less than 5 known people who are confirmed to know Satoshi in real life, but they were developers on the game, so they're not allowed to share the information. So that just made me think of, is it Cicada? We talked about that?
We like talked about maybe one day covering it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cicada project or Cicada 1313.
3301.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. These types of things are fascinating to me. It's like controlled mysteries, hunts that lead
Forest
to.
fan.
Yeah, a lot of times, sometimes there's treasure or a reward involved. Sometimes it's just for like the thrill of the hunt.
Yeah.
You know? So,
Sounds weirdly familiar.
what is that from?
Oh, just the the project we've worked on.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I wasn't trying to mention any of that. I don't know if you.
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. I'm sorry. I know I spent a lot of time reading on this. And to be honest, I don't have much more information from that. But I was wondering if we could talk about like Cicada 3301
Right now?
and delve into these kind of. It's kind of creepy because you don't know who. Sometimes, well, in this case, we know it comes from a video game developer.
I was going to say, do you have some background on, like, for people listening?
This video game, the developer,
The Cicada.
Cicada 3301.
Yeah.
It was like a internet web phenomenon that happened in the early 2010s.
How about one of us reports on it next time with like the facts and outline?
Okay,
Just-
I'll do that too
Because I have a couple
continue on.
stories and we're already at.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at a short. I'll leave it short.
Well, okay.
And open ended, and I'll get into that next time. I'll study up on Cicada 3301. It's dope though. I don't know. Like I said, the thrill of the hunt, something that's fascinating to all of us here.
Hardcore.
We've thought about different things to try and create that experience. But yeah, find Satoshi. The fact that we live in an age where you can find out everything about virtually anyone, but 15 years later, we haven't been able to find this man.
I think that's what's so attractive to me too, is in a world of ever decreasing mysteries, when there are true mysteries still, they like have more value.
It's one that stands the test of time, essentially, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
And so like DJ mentioned, we've bonded a lot on mysteries and hidden treasure. Something we like dove into quite a bit a couple years ago.
You remember that one time we watched videos of Forest Fence treasure for like a whole day at like Nolan's house?
Yeah, if you don't know anything about Forrest Fenn, he's still alive, but he's this archaeologist, historian who has, he's been interviewed, and in his house, there are items and relics that he's found in his excavations that are so cool from all over the world, different cultures spanning different time periods.
I think he has like a peace pipe from
Sitting
Tonto
Bull or something like that.
Yeah, like a super famous Native American. He has like a piece pipe. Like he's collected these pieces from all over the world.
But he's gotten a few of these pieces, thrown them in some type of, I guess, treasure chest or box, and hidden them somewhere in the Rocky Mountain range. And he's written a book, and at the end there's a riddle or a poem. It's like 2 small paragraphs, and all in all, it's like less than 10 sentences. But he claims that all of that entire riddle or poem gives you all the clues to find this. And he says that once in a while he goes to check on where he buried it or hid it or placed it, and it's still there. This has been going on for, I don't know, a couple decades?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. But
There's very, very enthusiastic communities around the Forrest Fenn treasure. There's different parties who believe different things. There's very guarded information and theories.
Yeah. And the value of this was how much? In the
think
millions.
3 million.
Yeah, in the millions, like if you were to sell it or something.
Yep.
But
It's just out there for anyone to find.
Yep.
we have you guys would know better, so you should probably tell it. But the treasure in the cave here in Utah, we were explicitly told, do not go into this cave.
What? When?
From this old like Native American woman, and said,
from your friend.
Yeah. I think I mentioned this really early on the podcast.
Okay,
but I'm going to reiterate.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of facts other than there's a lot of accounts and records of Spanish treasure and Native American treasure disappearing in Utah specifically. And one of my buddies was in IT, and he worked with a Native American woman who knew a lot of folklore surrounding it and had heard a lot of things and got close to my friend Dylan. Not sexually, just work friends. And was having a conversation with him and said, hey, I think she pulled up Google Maps and zoomed in. And she goes, she was very obsessed with this treasure and said, I believe that this treasure is here, and showed him on a map. And Dylan was like, let's go. And she's like, no, you are not allowed. That land is cursed and that treasure is cursed. And I think she like took down the browser, closed out the window. And he's like, no, seriously, like I don't care about curses. I'll go. And she's like, no. And she like wouldn't talk about it again.
That's mildly infuriating.
So I told
The
Dylan,
few, the proud.
I was like, Dylan,
the Dylan.
can you remember where the F that went? He's like, I can remember like the general area, but not the exact coordinates.
Bruh.
So I don't know.
We need to go find that treasure.
Treasure hunting is actual occupation.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. Sean has a book about treasure hunters, and it's their real life account of finding like Spanish treasure off the coast of Florida. Dude, it's crazy. They get like funding from private either entities or people, but it's like millions of dollars to go find stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's their job.
Yeah.
They
That would
spend
make
years,
sense.
but they spend years and years of research, history, poring over records of pirates, priests. You know what I mean?
It's basically like national treasure. That's how much they know about everything.
Still the Declaration.
Dope.
Anyway,
Yeah.
there's a lot out there.
Find Satoshi.
Ooh.
Satoshi, if you're listening, bro, hit us up.
Real quick, the picture is in France. One of the lead, I guess, investigators for this is this e-girl. And I think she is like the moderator of the website Find Satoshi. But she's been to the location where they took the picture. She took a picture there too. But it's like in this old town in France. And they're like, we don't know why he was there. You know, because they checked the records of that place, and there's not very Japanese people who live there or have lived there, and their names aren't Satoshi. But Satoshi in general is apparently a common name in Japan. So
There are a lot of different pictures coming up when I Googled it.
let me see. It's the first one.
Whoa.
I found him.
Sean's like, did y'all just Google him? Or? Crazy. Cool. That's sick. Is that you?
That is me.
Dope. Thank you, man.
Mm-hmm.